I guess I'm supposed to start. Again, another solid week of practice, 3 days, getting ready for Notre Dame. I think our guys are ready to go, and we're gonna find out what we got on Saturday.
Pat, how much of an emotional loss is it to lose somebody like Quentin, especially
the
way he's playing and what you got coming up?
Yeah, Quentin is playing well. He's really the heartbeat of our defense. He's smart. He gets it all done. But that's part of the game of football. We've been fortunate to be healthy really most of the season, and sooner or later the injury bug's going to hit you. Last couple of weeks it's hit us a little bit, and Quentin's just the next one. So I'm excited. Sad for him and his family. He's had such, like you said, a great year. But we can't sit there and worry about it. And Quentin knows that. Elias Reynolds and Chase Pine will take over. We'll find out who the dude is going to be at that position, and we'll go from there.
It'll be one of those guys. You won't look at Salim moving back in the
Not
middle,
Not right now. Those guys have been taking significant reps. The last few weeks. They've been in the game. Those guys weren't ready a year ago, so that's why we went with Salim. But they're ready now. They're ready now for that role, and if crazy things happen, Salim could go in there and take it over as well.
Speaking of crazy things, there's no way to get a sixth year for Quentin?
I don't know. Well, if there's a way, we'll work it. That's for sure.
I think some of the numbers I saw, Pinnock gave up maybe 2 catches all day on Saturday, and they tried to go at him. They threw a lot of passes his way, but he only gave up 2. I mean, is that representative of the kind of game he played? I mean, did he stick out on tape when you reviewed the game?
No question about it. I mean, Jason's played well, really, the last couple of weeks. So he's back. He was banged up early in the year, and it just took him really a while to get back and get his swag back. And I'm happy with where he is. He needs to have another great day this week against some of these big tight end receiver type guys.
You made a point of talking about the wide receivers and tight ends. So your corners, some of them are pretty decent size. Does that give you a little bit of an advantage? Not an advantage, but
it does. I mean, you're looking for matchups, and that's why we switched our nickel back from a week ago. From the Central Florida game wasn't because they weren't getting the job done. It's just based on who they are and who we feel good with matchups. So we do feel good with some of our big corners going against their big receivers. So we'll see how it goes. It won't always be that way, but we're going. Felipe's playing well. We're going to give him a shot to see how he does out there. He's obviously not as big and physical as some of the other guys, but he can run. He's got the make-up speed, but we're not going to get pushed around or bullied out there.
You said on your show last night that the injury, Quentin's injury, took the breath away from some guys. How do you see your guys recovering today?
Well, I think our guys are fine. Our guys were fine that day. Matter of fact, half the team didn't know that day on Tuesday that it even happened. I think probably the linebacker group, maybe some of the defensive guys. Our guys are good. I mean, it just takes your, because it's just kind of how it happens. I mean, you expect a guy to get hurt in a team period, not in an individual period. So when those happen, it's kind of a fluke. I had to look up and see if it was a full moon that day. Crazy things happen like that.
Pack on one guy make up for Quinn, or do you need like a little bit from everybody to help make up?
Well, I think it's everybody's got to step up a little bit. I think those D linemen got to know that they got to play a better game than they may have had before. But I think Reynolds and Pine are the 2 guys that they got to play the position, and we talk all the time about you can't do too much. You can't do his job. You got to do your job. And really that's the way it is. I mean, Reynolds got to take over. Pine's got to take over. And when they're in there, they got to show up and play for Quentin.
They got to make the calls too, right?
Yeah,
Not just.
Yeah, I'm not going to make them.
I mean, just not play the game physically. They have to be able to know what Quentin
which they've done. They've been doing that. So they have the ability to get everybody else lined up. Should not be a problem.
I think Keyshawn Camp's your most productive defensive tackle so far. What's he been doing this season? What's he been doing well?
Keyshawn's been paying attention to detail. I mean, he's very detailed. Gets extra time in the video room with Coach Partridge, and he's really explosive football player. I mean, he's got a lot of athletic ability. So, I think it's just the effort he puts into playing a good game.
As far as the tight end position goes, do you see more opportunities for Will Gregg, Jim Medore, spread out? How do you see that happening?
Jim Medore, Will Gregg, all those guys are going to get, Kerrigan's going to get some reps. I mean, we got 3 tight ends in there. They're going to get more reps, and we'll be fine there.
What has kept the numbers down for the tight ends this year as far as receptions?
Maybe ability to make a play, catch the ball, whatever it may be. but we'll just play. If you got a big dude that you can get the ball to, it makes a difference.
We were talking about the depth at cornerback, and obviously have enough guys you can mix and match like you've been doing. So when you look at Paris Ford, you talked about him possibly moving back to safety at some point. Is that something a move you consider making this year to give him a head start to start working there again, learning that spot again?
Not really. I mean, it's too hard to, there's a lot of mental stuff goes on, and I just want to get him really sound. Paris is a great athlete. He's got ability to play corner. We know, he can play safety as well. I mean, if you got the ability to play corner, he's a big corner right now that really matches up well against these guys. So it comes down to doing the right thing, and I just want to get him sound. Once he learns what the corners are doing, he'll understand how important it is to tell them what to do when he does play safety.
Pat, I know you guys practice with a lot of noise. Do you feel like your guys are ready for that environment, for that part of the environment?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've been in a lot of noisy stadiums, and the first thing we got to do is make sure that the band's not playing when our offense has got the ball. So you guys can look at that and make sure that gets done. But playing there enough times, and actually playing away on the right shoot, they'd come to our place and at Michigan State and have their band on the sideline playing music all the way up until almost the ball is snapped, until I go crazy or someone goes crazy. So we got to keep their band playing when they're supposed to be playing, not when our offense is under center trying to play and call cadence. So I think that's a big factor that we're going to have to get under control as well.
Brian Kelly says he learned a lot about you from playing Michigan State, and feels like, how about you? How well do you know Brian, and what's like a typical thing from a Brian Kelly team?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to tell you what I know, but this is Brian Kelly's offense. He's got his fingerprints all over it. You can tell that, and I can go back, which we have gone back to whatever it's been. There's it helps when you know the history of what they've done through the years, even when it comes down to rocket plays at the end of the game when they're trying to maybe they're down and there's a minute to go in the game, and what are they going to do? I mean, we've got a lot of history as far as what they do, how they like to do it, and those are all things that help. It's really what are they like? What's he going to go to if this doesn't work? And those are the things that you hope help you, unless they've totally changed and Long's calling everything. But you see that he's got his his prints all over it, I think.
I know you'll correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, but are you a bit subdued today?
Subdued?
Yeah, you seem a little quiet,
I'm good, Dad. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Just checking.
I'm just answering questions as they come.
Rainy days and Thursdays always get us down.
Nice.
Anything else for Coach?
Yeah,
Brian? I think Brian checked out. Good.